Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning. Here first. YouTube. And there's the YouTube and here's the Twitch. Quack. For sure, with all this craziness that's going on, we don't want to be without that. Okay, let's pull over charts. Still need to find a window manager. I would really like to have something so I could just like drag all of these and pull them over. Okay, so what happened yesterday? Well, we had a couple of moves. First of all, we did move higher off of yesterday. Okay. And then we had this little bit of a down move right there, and that was where I caught a short and I had a really good trade. And then this candle right here, you can see it. It's really hard to see, but that was when there was news that Donald Trump might impose auto tariffs. And then this was right here. The European Union and Donald Trump made a deal essentially, and the deal is going to be all industrial good, all like everything that's not industrial. So basically like everything but cars. Is my understanding. So yeah, this is really bearish. Like there's been the only reason that we've been up this year, in my opinion, since here, the only reason has been because of risks from trade wars. So that's very bearish news, but we could have all sorts of stuff back and forth. So that's it. You're gonna have to watch that. We could have some news basically. But I would say it's a bearish. Sellers have it. I would much prefer to take a short. We could potentially take one here. What else? E-mini. About the ES. You can see how good the ES was, but it reversed. Now, the thing is that they still have to negotiate and things could go wrong. So I think that some of that move in the E-mini might reverse as well. That's another thing we gotta watch out for. Overall, though, I would say it's bearish. Not only because they've made a deal, but because they've made a deal with the European Union, it allows them to put more pressure on everybody else. And the big one here is, of course, China. And if they get a deal with Mexico, and they get a deal with the European Union, then that just leaves China and Canada. And Canada is just, you know, Trudeau's just being a baby. He'll get over it. Okay. Then looking here, what are some key levels we gotta watch? The low of the day. Okay, and yesterday's opening range low. So it's gonna be between 17 and 17.5. Okay, so I have that marked. Then there's the 15. Well, there's definitely some buying in there. Keep Twitter up. Oh yes, another thing, Donald Trump is complaining about Twitter's shadow banning prominent Republicans, which did happen. So this is really going to hurt Twitter and Facebook, and some of those tech stops were really big leaders in the S&Ps, so that's also a key thing to pay attention to. Well, the first thing I'm seeing here immediately is that we're getting a decent amount of buying, and it appears that it is already reversed and they're trying to sell it. I want that. Okay. Well, there was a lot of back and forth there, but the buyers actually did hold it. Now they're doing it again. Whoa. This is interesting. Okay, now they're still not putting up a huge offer, unfortunately.
3 minutes now until we get the US durable goods order for June. The preliminary reading again expected at 3%, with ex transportation 0.5% expected. Capped goods orders non defense ex air 0.5% expected. Defense ex air 0.4%. Well, getting the US initial jobless claims, that's 215,000. Claims 1.733 million expected. Wholesale inventories as well for June, the month reading. Press conference, President Draghi. They posted it. Why did they dial in? Fast feed again.
Okay, so we're too close to the news, so I wanted to get out of that. One long unit of gold and along 1 unit of T-note. Since Friday, we had been considering owning gold and bonds at the same time, although gold and bonds generally move in contravention to one another. We can make the case for both to move in tandem in the coming weeks and months. I don't think I think that, yeah, he said that a couple of days ago, and he's already been screwed over. Okay, so there's the ECB conference.
Under 1 minute now. Seconds. It's 217,000 for the jobless claims, with continuing at 1.745 million.
Not an immediate reaction.
Durable goods up 1%, with the X transportation 0.4%, non-defense X air 0.6%, non-defense X air for cap goods 1%. The advanced good trade balance at deficit.
That's probably going to move us up.
Billion.
1%. It was supposed to be 3. Unemployment claims were in line.
Press conference. Just remind you, press conference. We'll just quickly go through the but there with the initial jobs claims at 217,000, Indian claims at 1.745 million, Paravised 1.753 million, durable goods coming in at 1% with a Paravised to minus 0.3%, cap durable goods X transportation 0.4% with below expected 5% with Paravised 0.3%, non-defense X 0.6%, 7%, the cap goods ship non-defense X at 1%. The wholesale inventories month-to-month coming in flat against expected 0.3%. Inventories month-to-month flat reading as well, with advanced goods trade balance a deficit of 68.
Principal payments or intended and necessary and an ample degree of mild uncertainty states that
Okay. So that was a bit of a sell.
nevertheless headline inflation by the sizable starting
Rising to 41,000. Average earnings rising to year-on-year.
Okay, that was interesting. Sellers are pushing it a little bit here. This is too hard to tell if they're going to continue here, so I'm sitting on my hands. Nickel 14 would have been an okay place to take it, but not 120. We might just wait until after the until after this conference, because I'm seeing that the market is kind of a little risk averse because of it. They haven't taken it at 12.5 yet. It's kind of just really flaky, like, you know, they'll trade into something a couple of times and it goes back and forth a trillion times and then it turns around for no reason. And when I look at the delta, I don't actually see significant deltas to justify some of the turns. Okay, so that was important.
Suggested my second question is,
That wasn't a real answer to him, was it?
question obviously
These last two ticks that we saw here at 13.5, where they went up and they pulled and went down and they pulled, is just awful. Don't want to mess with that. You see right here, we have thick orders. Well, not thick, but we got 46 just above us, and then below that you got 4, 3, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3. So like, people aren't playing. It seems to me that this is just action we should stay out of.
Action.
It might move, but I don't think that we have an edge here.
Direct.
This 34 didn't pull.
Second question.
5-year didn't tick. Set. These didn't tick. They ticked. And they pulled.
Um,
comes
like your view. trade fix. And secondly, some people.
I'm willing to take one at 14, but I don't want to mess with this flicking back and forth a trillion time thing again.
Again,
First of all, I first, second. First, the and we conduct our agree on English. So next the very well.
So they are stepping up to the high. They are not able to trade it though.
Answer. Then you have the answer.
Okay.
That could haven't done.
How do you?
First of all, let me make general target to touch it. A settle.
Okay, so they got up to a target that was at 16, and they're backing off of it. I don't think I want to take a trade while he's still talking, but
Balance.
we've seen some big volume at 15 before, and there's the key level at 17. They may push up a little bit more. 3.303.
Purchase. Take second. Of a second back to the
Block by.
so once happy.
There will be countries.
I think we need to be really vigilant here because a block buy at 15.5 is like a really bad spot for a block buy. So you have some pretty key resistance on us at 17. So he's not even going to be able to get 3 ticks out of it. And if this goes against him, it could lead to a significant reversal.
Box. Negative. Second. Negative. So now the is the line in have
Thank you. Treasuries. At this then I asked myself.
So that bid being weak at 15 is curious. Okay, and they took the 15.
That's very buy.
Hmm. So there wasn't a terribly convincing tick up at 15, but they did tick up. A long conference.
Nice and sorry, can you hear me now? Sorry. My second
It's
question,
close to
full reintegration. And planning. Great time.
the for we discussed this. Take your insect risk. That's well here right now. Waiver was there until and really not.
The Draghi. Coming. Turner. Turner. Never. Press a doctor. And second question. About again.
Well, 15.5 was the key level, right? And only 70 have gone into it.
Have to buy.
I don't want to sell 15. I don't want to sell this and have it go against me and have them push up. So I'm going to wait and see. Maybe they give me an opportunity to take it more safely. Okay.
And therefore, story exceptional.
One is also on several times. F3. Very important point. Why didn't you? Related to that, general technical. Second one, one of the guidance would policies.
Okay, well, if you'd been short there, you got good 2 ticks out of it, but I think that there's still a chance that they try and make another pushback up, so.
Thank you. Haven't discussed. Second question.
Tick.
Cancel act. Some of these
Oh, hey, Uzi. Yeah, I think that the liquidity levels is due largely to the ECB at the moment. I don't foresee anything significant happening until the end of this. It's been going for 40 minutes. I don't know how much longer they're gonna go. Uh-oh. Okay. Alright, so that's gonna be the end of that. Okay.
Press conference now with ECB target euro.
So this is kind of a tough call now at this point because at 15.5 we had a big order, and I felt that that was enough of an imbalance to potentially take, but it was during the press conference and it just didn't quite give me the look I wanted. Now we're a tick or two lower. It's really hard to take a trade there because let's just say that you short 14.5. Well, then you can just come down to 13.5 and do a VWAP bounce potentially. So your risk's not very good on that side. Well, I mean, your reward's not very good. You're risking like 4 to get 2. So this is just not my space. And we also have to keep in mind that they did break the overnight high. It was only by 2 ticks, but they did break the overnight high, and so that would potentially mean more trending action up. Whereas I've been more interested in a selling move. When I look at the deltas, I see a lot of, I mean, it's overall buying, but I generally just see a lot of noise. Just a lot of noise, and so I don't think that this is the right place to take a trade. Okay, so we do have some more news coming today, don't we?
Comments from
8:30 natural gas storage. Okay, we do have a pretty good level right there. You can see in the 10-year it looks okay. Liquidity wise, like that they're buying. The 5-year looks a little more random. And the 30 is just the normal orders around the edges. Yeah, I'm wary of price levels getting cleared on relatively lower volume than usual. Propensity for a trap goes way up. Yeah. See, the risk reward here just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It could make sense at 15.5. But even that one is a little difficult, I think. Now, if they could maybe get below the VWAP, then maybe we could start considering that, because especially if it gets down there without a whole lot of volume, because you're gonna get all these longs stuck here at 15.5. At the moment, though, it looks like if there was a block buy at 15.5, he might win here. He may just win. Let's do it like that. So I'm watching here if maybe they could break a new high and we could see an iceberg. At the 17 is the level that I want to see them do something at. 17 to 17.5. That's kind of... 17 was the overnight low and 17.5 was the opening range. Well, that order at 16 pulled. Got a good number of people watching today. Got a decent number of people watching on the streams, and then there's a decent number of people in the voice chat, so... ZBF. Okay, so the 5-year did make a new high there. Well, they both did. That was a pretty unspectacular new high, wasn't it? There wasn't like a ton of stops or anything. Trade negotiators from the EU and US will hammer out a report in 120 days that will establish the framework for future negotiations towards a trade deal, European officials said. 2630 is not enough. Is Bitcoin still a thing? Wow. Yeah, so people have been buying Bitcoin because they believe that they're going to announce an ETF. Yeah, this is key. So people were saying that it was going to be August and that was the date that was being listed. But a lawyer came in and looked through all of the things in the history of stuff and said that actually if they do announce an ETF, it's probably not going to happen or get approved until February. So I'm wondering if Bitcoin's going to take another dive. And we can see here, when you look at the futures, you see this chart down here, like that somebody has gone massively short in the futures by something like 300 contracts short since the high on Wednesday. So I think Bitcoin might take a tumble here. Which is good for us because I'm not invested in it right now. I want to see it come lower and give us our low risk, high value entry. Let it go down to 2,000, then announce an ETF. That would be great. Okay. Can make 10 times. That would be great. Okay. So they're ticking 17 again. One order. Wow. Okay. So now we get the E-mini coming in. Analysts downgrade once loved Facebook as Wall Street is stunned over coming profitability plunge. Yeah. This one's frustrating because I'm gonna guess like I would like to put the puts on again. But what's your they might be too expensive now. Especially after they open. We'll see where they're at, but I just think it's really interesting that Wall Street is stunned and they didn't see this coming. Because back when, you know, a month or two ago in May, when Facebook was having congressional testimony and everything like that, and for it to move up after half of that, I thought was extremely irrational. And then the earnings come out and prove that the market movement that we've had up to new all-time highs was not justified. Certainly they must have thought that there was a possibility that they were going to be wrong, but it didn't even occur to them apparently. So very slow here now. The moving higher did not result in more interest. I don't think that I would like to just straight up short it at 16.5, but this does not look like a buy to me. I've seen this so many times before where I would take the long and hoping for it to break out again, and it never does, you know? Okay. Well, that downtick seemed a little significant to me. You are getting more selling now after it hit that high than you've gotten. InfoWars can't live stream anymore. That's interesting. Okay. There's this picture here. When you're a star, they let you do it. They let you do whatever you want, and it shows a picture of Donald Trump hugging the Junker, who was the ECB commissioner. Okay, it's coming off. We're still in like natural pullback territories here, so be careful to be like selling that. So absorption there at 15 is not good. Well, I mean, it's not good for a short. I want a short. So what just happened there was all of the volume came out, and now they tick back up. We need the ES. Appears to be pushing up.
Block sell.
Hmm. How much was the block sell? 39. It's quite a bit more sell volume this time. I don't know. Now it's going to be hitting lows of the day. Kind of wish we had taken 16.5 now, don't we? I'm still not sure about this. There's still a VWAP potential to here. Yeah. The E-mini is driving us.
Equity. My name is Snehan. I'll be taking session take into bring from saying production.
They announced something yesterday about aiming for a zero tariff trade deal, and the Treasuries went a little wild. Well, yeah. And yes, Uzi has a good observation that now that we've come back down, we are much thicker below us than we were before. We've got fives there. So it's a much more solid block, whereas it was kind of all scattered and weird when we were up here. See all this black here? All gone. Now it's just solid.
After update hearing from the US Trade Representative, Zai has saying hopefully.
Oh, that's good. And how did that one go? See, they're giving them the look right here for a VWAP bounce is what they're doing. You buy 14.5 one tick above the VWAP so that you can go for the high again. And they tick down and then they've ticked back up, so when you look at the chart you get the pivot. But it just seems really suspicious to me. Especially with all of that volume that we had, you know?
Amazon's cloud. Repeat that here in that Amazon favored take all.
They finally started taking down InfoWars, yeah. Well, I haven't seen what their specific contention was. They said that they violated hate speech and protections for minors or something. So I don't know if that means that they said somebody was a child crisis actor or what, but they gave them a strike and they can't stream anymore. That 14.5 is looking tempting now. Well, more than enough of volume there for me to want to take a trade. And the delta actually says that it wasn't that much imbalance long, but you can see they're buying it here. They're trying to create a VWAP bounce and it's not really going.
Trade update here.
Okay.
China is said to plan a retaliation for any amount of tariffs. So to repeat that, hearing that China is planned retaliation.
Absorption there at 16. Nope. I think that this could come back very quickly.
Say this bit.
Yeah.
Said it will. Tariffs like, but they're coming back again, saying it.
I wish I had taken it at 16. That actually equaled the high from before. What I would much rather see is it come short one of these times. I didn't know that there was a Chinese flag emoji. Hmm. Let's see if this move comes short or not. Okay. And I'm having a really hard time with that 15.5 again. Been a key spot several times now. I wanted to see 16.5.
Equity hearing from the Daimler CFO seeing 1 billion euro headwind.
Okay. So here's our opportunity to get filled, but it's not quite right. Yemeni took a huge dive off of that news and hasn't quite made it back out yet. They're not hitting into 16 aggressively. Well, let's just put one in here. I think it's worth a shot. Yeah.
Italian news hearing from Italy Foreign Affairs Minister Defense spent 29.
Oops. So I want my buy to be right here. But I want, yes, I want my stop volume to be like 1900. Maybe not even that, maybe more like 3. Yeah, that's okay. Going to tick back down there. I should have gotten out of that. Because under this scenario, it shouldn't have ticked 17. Okay, so we got out. We got lucky. Oh no, we didn't. It took us out at 17. The stop hit.
Hearing Hill Houses. Oh, we are seeing. I continue CFO. Will increase the pace of buybacks.
There's a possibility that I was just early to that trader. I was just a little bit off. Like they might still fail to get above 17, but it's really hard. Okay. So there's some crazy. You notice it comes back up, and they're actually still selling it pretty aggressively there at 16.5. In fact, overall the delta is still negative. That's incredibly unusual.
We're getting the release of the Atlantic now forecast as 2 response 8%, down from 5% after 5 years.
I'm willing to risk that, but I don't know. I can see the setup here. Like the risk reward is correct. I see a divergence in the delta. I just saw a failure. So I see a lot of things that make this good for a reversal. I don't like taking reversals, but just looks it looks like a potential reversal. We'll see who wins here. SMAs point up, yes, but they're going to be... SMAs are going to show you the reversal too late if that's what's actually happening. Well, I don't like that it just went bid again. I also don't like that the E-mini's not... I mean, E-mini's just kind of skidding along the VWAP there. They might try and push lower, I don't know.
Might not be any Air China back to Paris after.
Did UB already go? UB did go higher.
Canadian equity going from Suncor saying it's not partners.
So I didn't like that they weren't offering very much there. Well, that downtick was much more encouraging.
Comments China on steel stock pressure here. Steel.
I could still take 16. Damn, this might be a trap though.
European news, IMF noting that France's family took
See, that right there was what I wanted to see. At 16.5. But they are able to hold bid there, that's... I don't know. Okay, that was a lot of buying there. Seeing they pulled. Turn your cap locks off, A Waddle. Sorry, did not mean to scream that. Yeah, no, that's not the way it should happen. That might, I mean, I could probably turn around and reverse it here. To be honest, can get that one. Maybe even, frankly, if I could get this.
In May 28, gross purchases Italian government higher than in purchase. ECB's Draghi saying QE buying capacity program.
Curious. So there's a lot of interest here at 16.5. Yep.
use Canadian equity, Suncoin ramped up ahead of expectations. So positive.
No, what's going on here in ZB? That 07. There we go. You see this? Prediction. That's a really crappy drawing, but I really like this Epic Pen program. I should just buy the full version of it so that I can draw lines. Okay, so there's the potential level break. So it's really hard for me to say whether or not that level break will go or not, but I think I have enough space here that it can go. Now we need to look, what was the 7, 5, 5. Probably 19.5. Yes, 19.5 if it goes. Nope. Hmm. think that we're either going to fall all the way back or we're going to go back to the top of the range and test it again. At the moment, I'm not seeing the appetite for them to sell and break this side of the range. And I think that the 30-year is probably going to tick up and flip things. Okay, so there the 5-year flipped. The 30-year ticked up. A little bit of stacking, but this has not flipped.
Hearing from US trade representative like I has saying take time to resolve trade disputes.
Okay. This is tough. I don't know if the 5-year is going to hold this or not. These swings making me sweat. I think that what is happening... Hold on, I'm gonna get filled. I think that what might be happening is they're battling themselves into a dead heat, essentially. If that makes sense. Hmm. Mm. Well, this is now to the point where they may be likely to push through this iceberg, but for that iceberg to show up there is very bullish for buyers, I'd have to say. Yeah, it's a good point. 16 often gets participation on both sides. Well, nobody is market buying yet.
A heads up then, just 10 minutes time. Prints. Build of 30 to get not dome rather than nat saw 8.
And I don't like this. Okay. Did I actually come out 0 after all of that? I thought I got 1 F out of at least one of them. Yeah, that's weird. Oops. Refresh. Hmm. I'm really confused there because I thought that I had the one and then reversed, and then I had one. And to see that those are both negative. I mean, one of those should have been +1. I thought, but I guess I was wrong.
Grand theory.
I suppose it's okay, but I should have gotten really fighting. 5 or 6 seems great, but my faith is lacking. Thank God for my gut on that one. Well, they may still break this. I mean, I still see. I don't know. It's really weird. The bond is pushing higher, and the 5-year is pushing down. We're actually seeing some flattening here. Well, that's enough into 17.5 that I think that there's a much better chance now that they break the high again. I mean, they did hold it down at the bottom. I think I was really overly concerned when it was going, you know? Well, I don't think it could stop into this one. Like if I hold this 1400, well, see, then it would have just triggered right there. But see, there's people holding it. And I see this thing right here. It's been there for a long time. It seems like a good target from here to here. But our risk would have to be here, so it's 1-to-1. I don't think that's right. If it came back down and took 16.5, we could have bought it. But we just opted to get out because I was trying to reverse too many times.
Trade represent. Have 8.
So there they did it again and it failed, and they're stacked at 17.5 now. That one tick down at the top there was probably the biggest up down tick bar we've had all day.
Astor.
Okay.
10 seconds.
Well, that went right, but they held it.
That's a build of 20. Change prints. Build of 24. 7. That gas stops.
It's right here.
7.
So it's this support in ZB or ZF that's killing us. Okay. Yeah, I shouldn't be making any trades in this area. In fact, I think that I might just quit. Let me finally take it. Yep. I think I should buy into this. Yep. It's after she goes. Too slow. This one I need to leave alone. And it's this right here. Take up ZB, please. If you could take up and then take out the '08 offer, that would be great. Nice stacking. Okay, they stacked a ton and the sellers decided to sell it. And the buyers and the bid absorbed all of it. They're not able to put a good offer at 17.5. Okay, now they got 1100. This is the one where we said, you know, I have to just keep my hands off of this one. Jeez. Okay, the 5-year ticked up and then back, and they put a lot more on the offer than they did the previous time. Now it's 1,000. I think we're gonna stop out here and work and quit.
Those comments from the trade representatives, I talk to.
Mm-hmm. I wish I had tried the VWAP trades long. I had sit there, I was looking for short, and I said, well, there's a possibility of a VWAP bounce, and I don't want to short against that. But when it started to happen, I could have bought at like, I could have bought at like 15. But this is just not good scalping action, I think. And I'm not sure if Uzi ever took his one. Okay, let's post the Bitcoin chart. It seems like it's moved into like a ranging mode, so like we look at some of these trades. These last two I sold at 16.5. Bad, you know, that's kind of the bottom of the range, and then I bought around 17.5, which is kind of the top of the range. And it hasn't broken out of that range yet. So that's the only thing that you could do is look at the range. When you look at the volume, it's not, there's no I don't see any real impetus either way. Now, way back when we were at 16, way earlier, like at 751, I think it was. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I didn't even take any until we got into this area. Oh no, wait, I took one at 625. It was at 14 I sold it. That one I sold too soon, but then it wasn't worth all that much, so that was the one. And then ever after that, there's just been, this whole thing has just been me, you know, I don't know. I don't feel very good today anyways. So I shouldn't be surprised, but that last one hurt. Should have just quit there at 4. Yeah, I've had some good, okay trades earlier in this week, of course, but I think this whole thing is like when I see 6K happening multiple times, that's not trending action, you know?
So comment. Right.
Okay, well there's you know, the bottom of the range. Not quite out the bottom side of it. So I'm gonna have to say definitely not my kind of trade here around this volume node 16.5. And I think what should have happened is I should have realized how much volume we were building up in there earlier and tried to only be buying here at 15.5 instead of way up here. And that, I think, could have helped me out. But I think that I'm...
Just a heads up then, just under 10 minutes at the top of the app.
Let's close him. I think maybe, you know, I didn't get very good sleep last night, and I think that after the news come out, I think maybe it was a little bit tilted. Like things just were all over the place, really, and random, and so I shouldn't be trading in that action, especially not after 8:30. So lesson learned. I don't really see any other comments. What do you guys get? Anything? Uzi hasn't taken one. The bond is begging to be sold up here, but it's the background spikes of buying that keeps me out. I don't want to get caught in it at the same time. I don't want to buy the high of the range. Ironically, though, I could have banked 5 or 6. Scared, though. Yeah. Well, it did finally come out. Look at that. That was a little rush there just while I was reading that. So that was the trade that I was really looking for when I was selling here. And then when I was buying, so like the moves, I kind of got the moves that I wanted. They disappointed, but I kind of got the moves that I wanted. But because I was taking them right smack dab in the middle of the range, it screwed me over. Until I finally took this one up at the top that was extremely ill-advised. And oops. So yeah. Obviously, I still have a problem with that, but I just feel a little emotionally unbalanced today, so... Yep. Another day. I think we know what we need to do, we just gotta learn to be consistent with it, so... I will catch you guys tomorrow.